Well, we'll get started here. We appreciate those that have came, and can everybody hear me okay? Okay. My name is Kelly Andrew. I'm here as a, I guess, dual purpose role today. I just retired from Brigham City Corporation, and as an employee of Brigham City, I was on the emergency management team. Therefore, they've got a group called the Citizens Core Council, which is made up of the different faiths in the area. There's the Interfaith Council, there's all the different faiths anyway. And I represent the Brigham City, Utah North Stake also. So it was interesting. I actually got paid by the city to be part of this, to fulfill a calling that I had. So anyway, that was interesting. Let me jump right into this video that we made. You'll find that it's not maybe Hollywood, but you know what? It's what we did ourselves, and I think it turned out pretty good. You'll turn it then. Rapid Disaster Assessment Program, RDAP. The Rapid Disaster Assessment Program is a program developed by organizations such as Be Ready Utah, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, other religious organizations, and feedback from actual disasters throughout the country. This Rapid Disaster Assessment Program replaces what used to be known as the Block Captain System. RDAP is a program that uses public volunteers to assess post-disaster situations in their community. The purpose of RDAP is to easily provide post-disaster assessment with the help of the public during disaster situations with no predetermined skill set or previous training. In essence, anyone willing to help can and should volunteer. No one will be asked to provide medical help or repair structural damage. Your job is to flag homes for trained professionals to quickly and easily identify where and what help is needed. 3 people are needed to coordinate the Rapid Disaster Assessment Program. Once all 3 people are in place, the assessment process may begin. Ideally, the ecclesiastical leaders should not be one of the 3. They will be needed to support the people coming to the church. Additionally, the area, zone, and district coordinators should also not be part of the 3 if they are taking on incident command duties. Although the operation of the RDAP falls under their oversight, the following roles should be delegated to the next 3 volunteers. 1. The section manager. 2. The shift manager. 3. The information officer. The section manager. The first person to arrive will be the section manager. They will get the assessment box out of storage and set up 3 tables in the cultural hall. They will sit at the first table with the assessment box and assign sections to volunteers as they arrive. The second person to arrive will be the shift manager. They will sit at the second table and they will hold a clipboard with a volunteer tracking sheet on it. They will have a box titled Summary Forms Checked Out on their table. They will be responsible to make sure all volunteers are accounted for. The third person to arrive will be the information officer. They will sit at the third table with the binder and a box titled Red Assessments and a box titled Yellow Assessments. They will interview the volunteers as they return from their assessments using the detail forms and fill out the summary forms. The assessment process. Step 1. When 2 volunteers are available, the section manager, the red table, assigns them the first section, Section A. The section manager places the A section materials on a clipboard, then places enough detail forms on the clipboard for their assigned section. The section manager explains the rules to the two volunteers and shows them the rules in the A section material, then shows them their assigned section on the map. The section manager gives them one roll each of red, yellow, and green flagging tape. After they assess a home, they tie a piece of the tape on the door handle, railing, or fence so it can be seen from the street, indicating the assessment status. Red, need help. Yellow, no response. The residents will be checked again. Green, okay, no major damage or injuries. The section manager gives them an overview of what is needed on the form and makes sure they understand they are only to do the section they have been assigned, and they are to return promptly after completing their section. When they return, they are to report to the shift manager. The section manager then writes both their names and time out on the summary form. After the volunteer team leaves to complete their assessments, the section manager then gives a summary form to the shift manager at the yellow table. Step 2. When the section manager gives the shift manager the summary form, the shift manager will record the names and time out on the volunteer tracking sheet on their clipboard. They will then put the summary form in the box on their table for checked out summary forms. The shift manager will then watch to make sure that there are no missing volunteers. When the volunteers return, the shift manager will record the time back in on the volunteer tracking sheet. They will then find the appropriate summary form in the box and record the time back in on it as well. The volunteers will then take their summary form and their clipboard and report to the area information officer at the green table. Step 3. The volunteers will sit down at the third table with the information officer and review their assessments. While the information officer is with the volunteers, the information officer will ask thorough questions, review the detail form for every home in the section, and will fill out the summary form. On each detail form, he will put a sticker: red for needs help, yellow for no response, and green for okay. After meeting with the volunteers, the information officer will then sort the detail forms. Red stickers go in the red assessment box, yellow sticker forms go in the yellow assessment box, and green stickered forms are to be placed in the binder in their appropriate section. The information officer will then tape the summary forms up to the public information board or wall. This will help with any questions about the section. Now that the assessment process has been explained, here are 4 additional items to remember. It is important that anyone leaving with an assessment assignment must have a partner, no exceptions. When the volunteers have finished a section, they will need to get water and rest, but they can take another section if they choose. As you continue to have volunteers arrive, the yellow assessment forms will need to be rechecked. The red assessment forms will be given to first responders if available. If they are not available, you can distribute the red forms to nurses or doctors or the CERT team members that are available. Amateur radio operators may also be utilized by relaying information from remote units into district leaders. As you can see, this RDAP program is a very simple process. Basically, whoever is available comes to the central meeting point and goes to work. Only 3 people are needed to initiate the process. The next 2 people to arrive are instructed on how and what to look for and are sent out to perform the assessments. All that are able are encouraged to come to the central meeting point and help. This is an accelerated program so that as much information as possible can be gathered in a short amount of time. This information will then be used to help emergency services prioritize their responses. This RDAP program utilizes the same procedures throughout Utah so that no matter where you are, you can immediately be useful in the event of an emergency. So that's a lot. If you haven't ever heard of anything along that lines, that's a lot to soak in to begin with. But it's just, if you're available, show up, you can be part of it and help. It's not anybody special or anything, and I'm sure you gathered that from the video, but it's really just before the block captain, and I assume most of you have heard about that system. The problem is we were relying on people to be home at a certain time when this disaster, well, if we knew when the disaster was going to be, it'd make the whole process easier. We'd all be ready for it. But so this way, it's just whoever is available shows up to whatever the meeting location. It may be a senior center, or whatever it may be. It doesn't necessarily need to be a church. And we had several people. I've had the question, and I've been presenting this for quite a few years. They're like, "Well, what do we do if we're the first one there and the building's locked? There's a rock in the garden, break the glass, get in there, and let's find." We're worried about what's happened to our friends, our neighbors, whatever they may be. We'll worry about that. Get into the building and figure out so these assessment totes that I've got here on the end, and all this stuff is kind of what you were seeing in the video, fits inside that tote. Well, we keep them all in one little closet in the building that we're in. And so you need to know, when you get to that point, figure out where they're going to be stored and let people know where they're stored. But anyway, get them out and get the process going. The first, everything that I read in that video is in the first 4 pages of this book. Let me just jump over here for a second and give you some information. All right, bail me out. She walked out on me anyway. There we go. Just wanted to get that big enough where you could see it good. But take a picture of that. There's my name, my phone number, my email. The video you just watched is on YouTube, but you've got to type in Rapid Disaster Assessment Program. Type that whole thing in, and then, like it says, that the video is the one. There's several. If you type that in, it'll come up. This particular one, you'll see the red and yellow assessment boxes. And that'll be the picture there, and then you can watch that. There's nothing. Share that. Do whatever you want with it. It's nothing there that you can't use or modify or whatever. I was lucky, I guess, like I explained in the beginning, where I was working for Brigham City Corporation. They allowed us time to make the video. I was over the building inspection department, so I think maybe that's how I got involved with this rapid disaster assessment. But anyway, everything we got there was just garnered through the state of Utah, to be honest with you, emergency management. So nothing there is copyrighted that you can't use. And if you wanted information, if you reach out to me, I could get you a thumb drive, and on that thumb drive, I've listed every single thing that I've got here. Everything you need to print, to make one of these booklets, to do whatever. And I can't remember, most of this stuff I think we got on Amazon or somewhere like that, or one of the local, office supply places or whatever. But I guess really what it boils down to, in my opinion, is once something happens, it's a crazy position we're in, because we want to be prepared, but we hope we never use it. And so I think we get a lot of apathy, including myself, but have something there in place. And even if not everybody has seen the video, watch the video. Like I said, it seemed like a lot to gather, but the first few pages in that book is basically exactly what I read when I made the video. So, questions?
Following Willard, we have the same kind of like this program that they have. It's whether, like the church leader should not be.
Right.
In my ward, we had a really, really great coordinator who coordinated everything. So, what we got, my family, we got a packet that has the red, it said for assessment, red assessment, the green and the yellow. And then, one time we were instructed to, we're going to have a drill. Okay, everybody in my ward got those.
Right.
They delivered. And so I participated myself, they said, okay, this time we're going to practice. We're going to have a drill, okay? So each family has a packet. They have to assess, okay, somebody's first, so we have to put red in there. So I participated in that first, because nobody had thought I did. So I put the red one, somebody's heard. They're on the window saying, and there's somebody who supposed to go around and check every single house. If somebody's red and then the stuff is red on the window, that means they need help right away. And then if you're green, and they don't have to worry about it. So,
Right.
I think in a way, I really appreciate it because we have this kind of program. And the coordinator did a lot of work in this one. And so I feel like, I think our community, when we were very, and particularly our ward, I think we're ready for this one.
Right.
They gave us instruction in case of emergency, where are we going to meet together? There's a really earthquake or something.
Right.
And it is good. I like that. It's similar to this.
No, I've seen it. I think yours are yellow. I mean, the booklets, Willard gave me one, and it's kind of like a yellow booklet with all that same information in it. But so, and that's the key, is do something. This is, I mean, I've been through it so many times, it just is second nature, but it's fairly easy compared to what we were trying to do before with block captains and people knowing what medication, who needed, and all that kind of stuff. This is just the beginning, though. This is just to get that, and that's why they call it the rapid disaster. This is the beginning to figure out who, what, where are the injuries or the infrastructure problems we have. And then after the fact, there needs to be a better or a bigger program of how we're going to handle it. Because then if it's, I mean, heaven forbid, it's a huge disaster that's, maybe you got Cache County and Box Elder County involved, because then resources are going to get tough. But anyway, we need that information to be able to move forward regardless. So.
Big one, we have to start from a little one, like my ward, right?
Right.
That's the community, so many, big area. So if we have those, if there's somebody that's gonna coordinate that, and then the little ones here, and they will be big. So in case of emergency, each area knows what to do. Each family knows what to do to assess their own family. Or we're okay, so I put the green one here. Don't worry about us, we're okay. Then whoever's going around and checking, if they see the yellow or the red.
Right.
Focus on those instead of the green one.
Yeah, focus on those that need help. I just wanted to go, oh, yes. Right. So, yeah, I mean, in Bear River, I know for sure, because obviously that's where I live too, but it's at the church house in Bear River. So our stake, and I assume some of you are in the same position where we got a little bit in Brigham City, but we're out in the country. We go out through Honeyville, out through Bear River. So you get a long distance between houses sometimes. But anyway, yeah. For Bear River, you'd go to the church house there. There's a closet in the back between the men's and women's restroom that this stuff is stored in. But the emergency manager for your area there would be Brian Fawcett and Holly Fawcett. Brian's a Brigham City fireman. Anyway, I just wanted to go through a couple of things in the book just real quick and answer any questions as some come up. Let me just tell you what we did on the mapping. So we what we did is we got on, and I used the Brigham City's GIS department, so I cheated. But they'd be willing to help, and I'm sure even the high school reached out to us and said they could help us on mapping. But Section A is what we talked about in the video. On the back side of that, we've laminated the map for Section A on the back. And it's just basically one city block. I mean, it's a little bit more, but the thought process is try to get this assessment done in 20 minutes or so we can get that information out. And I realize that doesn't work. It doesn't work in Honeyville. 20 minutes, you're only going to get to 4 houses, but maybe that's all you can do. And if you can't drive, then what? It's going to be even longer. So, but anyway, that's how we done the mapping, is on the back of those particular ones. And then the other thing was all those, the forms and things, we just printed up a bunch of them. I think for each tote I had made 9 of these totes, and then actually 10. Our stake presidency and the offices have got one there in their office too. But I think we put about 150 of each form in those. Yes, yeah. So the question was, if you didn't hear it, was we'd done one of these for each ward in the stake, and that's what we did.
That's like a 100 families.
Yeah, it's something like that. I mean, and I don't have the access to those records, but I know you can get that through somebody in the stake would have that. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and you brought it up from Willard, is what we do is every year. Have you heard of the Great Utah Shakeout? Comes up every April. We do something every April on that day in our stake. 2 times we've had everybody come to the buildings, and we went out and we've just sent everybody together, kind of, maybe 2 or 3 groups. Just went and done a rapid disaster assessment of one area, just so people learn what it is. This year, I think we're going to do something a little different, but we're still going to gather everybody together. So we do that once a year, so it's out in front of everybody, and we watch the video again. And anyway, and that's how we try to keep practicing, I guess, if you will. Is there any other questions or comments? It's really about all I have. You're more than welcome to come up and look at any of this. None of it's, like I said, anything special, but it rolled down to us from the state of Utah, and we ran with it. So anyway, that's all. I appreciate it. If you get a hold of me, and if you wanted me to mail you out a thumb drive, I'd make a copy of that. I'd have the video on it and all that, and I'd mail that out to you. So, or however you want to get it.
That have all the paperwork.
It does, has everything to make that box. So anyway, it'd be very handy. So.
Kelly, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. What, is there a question?
The shakeout also done here in Brigham.
Well, I can't hear you.
The shakeout.
Oh, the shakeout. Yeah, it's done statewide. Brigham City. So government agencies normally get a little bit involved. I worked for the Utah Department of Transportation before Brigham City, and we've done something every year too. And it might be a mandate for government agencies or cities to do something on that day. But if you look up the Great Utah Shakeout, Google that, you can sign up to be part of whatever they've got going on, and they'll send you information and whatever.
It's 18. It's on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's actually a Thursday, the 16th. So, and it's always that, whatever that is, I guess the second Thursday of April every year. Yes.
So just bear with us.
What was the question?
So he asked about the shakeout.
Yes.
We have information about the shakeout on our county emergency management page, so just watch for it.
Okay, so if you heard that, is it on USU?
No,
Or?
so Box Elder County.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Box Elder County will have some information on that on their webpage, so Anyway,
How much does the thumb drive cost?
nothing. I mean, I'll just send it to, don't worry about it.
Well, we're not even in your county. So
No, that's fine. I don't mind. Yeah, just I mean, the thumb drives are cheap, you know, but
information right now.
yeah. And I'll send you whatever you need or whatever you want. So whatever I can do to help. And I would be willing, if, not that you can't do it yourself, but if you wanted me to come speak to a group of people, I would. So anyway, thank you.